What up, guys? Jason Guyman here with PressureWashHelp.com. And today I have a special guest on from Michigan. This is Eric Bland. He has started his pressure washing business and window cleaning business. And today we're going to talk about a couple different things, but one of them is how he grew his business. And I know I get this question asked a lot, and so I am going to go over that. So if you have any questions for Mr. Eric, don't feel free to ask them in the comments, and then if they're relevant in the time, I will ask them in the time, but most likely at the end, we'll kind of scroll through everything and go from that. What up, Brian? What's going on? Brian's on here right now. So, Eric, tell me
What's up, buddy?
a little bit about yourself, how you got started, everything like that.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I really do appreciate it, Jay. Thanks for contacting me. Well, one of the things that happened in my life is there's something that tragically happened in my life where it took everything around me and changed my life and turned it upside down. And that horrible time took me to living at a truck stop for a month, right? Because I had broken up with the girlfriend and lost my job at the same time. And so I'm in a middle place. I didn't have any friends or family around me. My parents were all passed away, so there's nobody I could turn to. And nobody has money. I couldn't turn to them and say, hey, can I get some money? So I lived out of that truck stop, and I turned on YouTube, and I seen this guy, and he was in window cleaning. And I had window cleaned in 2004, successfully failed that company right out of high school because I got one big account. I was making $3,500 every 2 weeks at one location at a mall, just doing the entranceways, and I was spending that money left and right. But I successfully failed that, and then I started this. I started in this truck. I'm sitting here. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm going through the motions here, and then I seen this guy doing window cleaning, and I'm thinking, man, I could do it so much better than this guy. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm like, I could do it so much better. He's not asking the right questions. And at that time, I was doing sales and marketing for a jewelry company. And so jewelry companies, they don't care about you have a bad day. They don't care. You have to have your numbers in, right? So I took what I learned from there and I applied it to the window cleaning company. And that's why I am so hard on sales and marketing, right? And so I say all that bad positioning that I was in to bring it to like where we're at today. If all that bad stuff never happened to me, I would never be where I am today, right? So right now in this pivotal time, Jay, like there's companies all around, big, small, little, in between, that are losing their butt right now, right? They're making a pivot or not. Maybe some of them are just sitting there lagging and stagnant and just sitting there spinning their tires and saying, oh, COVID got a hold of us. Why did you lose your job? Oh, COVID took it. That's why. Why do you not have any more accounts? COVID took it. So we're spinning our tires. No, I say get out of that mess and keep going forward. So whatever it took, man, it got me here. So here's what it took. I don't want this to be a false presentation of this video, though. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and time management in order to get where I was. So I'm going to help you guys and kind of give you like a little snippet of what got me so excited when I was living out of a pickup truck to get to where I am today. So I call it the 2020 rule. And the 2020 rule is this. It has nothing to do with this year. But I said to myself, if I could just go ahead and get 20 accounts at $20, that would be $400 in one day. And mind you, when I say that now, it's like, oh, $400 one day. Congratulations. But back then I was in a pickup truck. So it was like, that was like big money. And I said, okay, if I could just do that for 5 days a week, just 5 days a week, right? That would be how much? $2,000 in 1 week. Cleaning dirt off glass, right? So that's $2,000. Now, if I could magnify that and make that a little bigger, times that out by 52 weeks in the year, 2,000 times 52 weeks of the year is how much? $104,000. Now we're talking. I'm in a truck, sleeping in the truck. I don't know if you've ever slept in an S10 pickup truck.
In Michigan.
And,
in Michigan.
in Michigan, cold, by the way. This is the little truck I started with. I keep it on there. This is, I don't know how, but that is the little truck. All that stuff is handwritten on there. The back sticker back there was actually what you would coat a book with, book covering. I put a big book cover on the back. I traced it out, cut it out real detailed. Didn't last very long, but it worked, right? It got me to where I am today. And so one of the things I want to share with you guys out there is maybe you guys are scared right now. Maybe you guys maybe you guys are building up and you're at that point where you have built something to sustain yourself and your family, and now you're scared of it all dwindling away. Right now is the time to make that pivotal point in your life to be able to go forward rather than being stagnant, right? Because we can blame everybody in the whole world. Well, why weren't you busy this weekend? Oh, the Super Bowl was on this weekend. No excuses, right? And a lot goes. I know. Do you do coach calls, Jason?
I haven't done too many of them yet, but I'm looking at it. So
Okay. I think it would be a really good realm for you to get into because, I mean, honestly, you're doing the coaching here. This is one thing, sharing information, but when people start to pay for the knowledge, that's really when you start seeing a difference in their business life, right? If they're willing to pay, I get a lot of people call me all the time. They say, "Hey, Eric, I got a quick question." I say, "Yep, no problem. A half hour of your time will be an hour for a half hour will be $100. So it's $99.95." I said, so then they say, "Oh, never mind." I said, "Well, listen, if you don't go with me, you're going to go down the road for another year at the wrong direction, or you could have it for $100." So you know what I mean? So one of the things that I always tell my guys and girls that call, I always say, what are you wanting this business to look like in the next 6 months? What are you wanting this business to look like in 12 months? Because that's what helped me out start my business is I always looked ahead. I never looked at the situation I was in. I was always looking ahead 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And how did I get it? I talked to people. I walked in. I got a shirt done at a place and I said, "Sir," and now you have to ask for the business. Nobody's going to give you the business. That was one of the reasons I was so good at closing sales in the jewelry is I never got close with the customer, right? I never got too close and I never got to know them. I was never afraid to ask for the sale, right?
right.
And so you get a lot of people that are afraid of the sale and afraid to ask for the sale. So I went up and I couldn't afford a shirt at that time. It was like $100 for the what do you call it? Just to get it the logo inside the computer,
Right.
the vectorization and all that. So I told him, I was like, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and wash your windows every week until you think it's a fair price to do a shirt. And he goes, "No, I'm not going to do that." I said, "Well, no problem. I'm going to start at this window right here and I'm going to keep working my way down." And he goes, "No, I already got a guy." I said, "Don't worry. I'm already doing it. I'll do this. I'll do the inside for you too. I'll see you next week." And that's how I got my first shirt printed off. And then it just kept going on from there. But that's how persistent I was. In the beginning, when I lived out of the truck, I seen that video. I looked at my account and I said, "Okay, I got like $68. I can go buy window cleaning equipment for Home Depot," right? I went there. I didn't have any insurance, right? Over here, if you're familiarized with Lake Orion or Michigan, we have a mall called Great Lakes Crossing. It's a really large mall. So I went over there. I had my equipment, and I said, "Hi, my name's Eric. What is your name?" And they start talking to me. We're in conversation like 5-10 minutes. They're like, "What are you even doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a window cleaner wanting to see if I could clean your windows." They're like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." So did a rapport. I didn't walk in, "I'm a window cleaner and I have a business." Nothing like that. Just got to know the customer and created relationship with them as much as I could. I was asking them questions. Now you got to know in sales and marketing, we sales guys will ask questions that we already know the questions to. The only reason I'm going to ask you a question is to take information from you so I can use it against you later on. Does that make sense?
That's absolutely
So
100%. And you're even talking a little bit about how you grew it. We're not growing it because we're going knocking on all these doors saying, "Hey, I'm a window cleaner." You wasn't on Facebook and you're on Facebook
no,
all the time. "Hey, I'm a window
yeah,
cleaner. I'm a window cleaner." No, we're building relationships. We're building
yes,
relationships, whether it's Facebook, We're going to go build relationships, whether it is with apartment managers and that kind of thing. And it's all about building relationships at the end of the day. And that relationship, it ain't building it for, 2 months. It might take 2 months, but you're talking about building relationships in 30 minutes. And that's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
absolutely. Yeah, you have to be able to do that. If you're a person, you have type A and type B. If you're a type B person that can't talk to people, starting a business is going to be very hard for you. No doubt about it, because you're going to have to overcome the hurdle of asking questions and being afraid to fail. A lot of guys, even type A, they're so afraid to fail, they would rather not ask the question. I tell you the worst question that could ever be is the one that's not asked, right? If you don't ask a question, I'm answering questions all the time. I have coaches that I call, I ask them questions, even if it sounds dumb. I say, hey, what is this? I'm constantly learning, right? And if here's the thing, judge a book by its cover, right? If you want to judge a book by its cover, here's a good situation. I have my t-shirt on. It says Bland Services on. I got my number on the back, tells you what I do and everything. And this guy walks in. I'm at a fast food restaurant. I'm standing, and this guy, I look behind me, and he's got some nasty shoes on, just like dirt filled, just nasty shoes. And he's talking to me, and I'm like, what does he want? He's talking to me about window cleaning, and do I window clean, and what other services do I provide? And I'm telling him power washing and gutter cleaning and everything. He goes, I have an address for you to check out. And I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm talking to him. And he goes, here's an address. Give me a shout. He didn't say what it was. He didn't say it was a house, commercial. I tried to get it out of him, but he was just a grumpy old man almost, right? So I said, all right, looked like he had shit on his shoes too. So anyway, I take this and I just threw it to the wayside. Didn't even think of it. I gave him my card though. I said, here's my card. I had this address. I didn't even look it up. I just pitched it aside. I get a call like a week later. Hey, I talked to you the other day at the restaurant. I was like, well, what restaurant? Because I get a lot of calls, right? And he's like, no. He's like, and he told me his name, and I didn't know who he was, right? So I'm like, okay. He's like, do it right now. I don't have time to kick the ball around anymore. I need a window cleaner before it opens. And I said, okay, gosh, give me 1 second, old man, because your problems are way bigger than mine, okay? So let me get online. I'm getting online. I type in this address, and I'm like, I think I got the wrong address. And he's like, why? What do you see? I see a baseball park, and not like a baseball park you take your kids to, like a baseball park, like a AAA baseball field, like okay, multi-million-dollar place, okay. And I go, okay, so do you work in janitorial? This is what I say to him. He goes, I'm the owner of the building, and I go, oh, okay. And it explains why he looked like he had shit on his shoes, because he had dirt all on his shoes from the ball diamond that he was taking care of the grass and everything.
Right.
And so, anyways, that's the largest account, one of the largest accounts that we've had. It's a huge account that we get every single year. We signed a huge contract with them. It's for a 3-year spread, but it shares with you two things. Number one, never judge a book by its cover, right? Number two, advertisement works. If I felt like that day I didn't need to have my work shirt on, I would have never got that chance to say, oh, you're a window cleaner? You know what pisses me off the most, Jay, is when I come home. Now, it doesn't happen anymore, but sorry, I'm getting over a cold here. But is when you're driving down your road and you see a washing company, power washing something, or a gutter cleaning company. That pisses me off the most, because I didn't do well enough to advertise. Now, if you know my truck and you see my outside of my house, I got signs up. I got my banner on my truck. People know I'm the window cleaner of the town, okay? So they understand. But yeah,
DJ,
that's huge.
my
Advertisement's
buddy
everything.
DJ, he lives a little ways from me, and he sent me a picture today of the homeowner out there on the ladder pressure washing, and and he's got all his truck equipment. I was there
Yeah.
last week. I was doing exterior window cleaning because I had to do a bunch of videos. And so I was doing exterior window cleaning. I have my nice truck, my nice new trailer that I just built that I was testing everything. And he's like, what are we doing, man? I'm like, sometimes you just, not everybody, and this is what not everybody's your customer at the end of the day. Some people
Yeah.
look for the $99, and some it's just not everybody's your not everybody's your customer. So
No, my next door neighbor, two doors down, he came to me and he says, "Hey, I need my gutters cleaned." I said, "Yep, 325." He's like, "Okay." I said, "That's what I charged you last year. I'm going to charge you the same this year." He's like, "I'm your neighbor." I said, "I'm your neighbor." I said, "So it shouldn't matter." So then he goes, "I need power washing done." I said, "No problem. I can do power washing for you." I said, "That's 6.25." And he goes, "You mean 6.25 for everything?" I said, "No." I said, "Your gutter cleaning is the different price." I said, "It's 6.25 just for the power wash." So one day we did the uppers for him, not a problem for the gutter cleaning. We did his garage, and he goes, I hear this humming noise. And this morning, his son's out there power washing it. He put that zero tip on there, and I'm laughing. I didn't even say anything. I could have been the nice neighbor, run over there and say, "I'm watching the zero tip," just a lie, just all over. I'm laughing. He goes, "What? You don't use anything like this? Do you know what happened here?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do." I said, "We call that chucking a truck." And he didn't get it because he's just a homeowner. I said, "You're looking for inexpensive." I said, "Let me ask you a question." I love this when people call me and they say to me, "Eric, um, I'm sorry, that price is a little out of my price range." And what would you say to a customer, Jay, at that time? Your price is a little out of my price range.
I'm
What do
gonna
you what do you normally say?
I'm gonna go down the road of giving them value of this is why we are priced. We have professional equipment, we have employees, we have worker comp on our employees, we have general liability. So if something comes happen to your house, stuff like I'm gonna go down that road.
Okay, so I'm the opposite. So I didn't get called the closer for no reason in the jewelry business, right? So I strictly asked them. I say, "So, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Jones, what would you think would be a fair price for a professional company that's bonded, that's insured, that has all the equipment? Give them the seeds that you just gave them, right? And said, what would you think a fair price would be?" "Oh, I don't know, 2.25, 300." I tell you what, you could possibly find that guy. You said you had that guy last year. Can I ask you a question, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Jones? Why didn't you call that company back this year? "Well, I did. Their phone wouldn't be up." See, Mr. Customer, I couldn't do the injustice to give you that price because next year when you call me, we wouldn't be in business either. So let's go ahead. We'll lock you down for the 6.5, and we'll take care of you. Professional job, make sure everything's done correctly. If you're not happy with it, you're not paying us. We do a walk around, making sure you're happy. All my subcontractors do. So it's fantastic. Is there any questions that's coming in? I don't know if we want
Yeah,
to do
not
any
too much.
questions.
One of the questions was earlier was which was is on topic a little bit is when would you say is a good time to quit a full-time job to do pressure washing full time? I know it's different for everyone, but when was the moment you said, "Okay, now is the time to do this full time"?
All right. So my situation is completely different than yours. I didn't have anything to lose, okay, because I lived out of a pickup truck. I had a lot to lose. I had a son at the time. So either I was going to show him that I could be somebody, or I could say, "I'm just nobody. I live in a pickup truck," and blame the whole world, right? Now, your question is tailored to you specifically. Whoever asked this question is you have to supplement your income, right? Never, ever, 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 ever mark these words. If you don't hear anything in this conversation, never quit your job. Never quit your job, because I can guarantee you, the person that asked this question, you're not like me. Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm better than you. I'm just saying I'm a go-getter. Okay, you have to. If you're going to quit your job, you got to be the most go-getter in your life. When you clock in at your work, nobody cares, right? You clock in, you clock out. You clock in. Once you start this job, you never clock out. I'm answering calls at 11:30, waking me up, going, "Yeah, I can get to that job," or "Crap, okay, I can get that screen that fell out of the window. Yeah, tomorrow I can do it." You never stop. And to be successful, you can't stop in this business. You got to tailor yourself to your area. What might happen in Chicago is different than California and here in Michigan. We have a place called Oakland County here in Michigan. It's like the second or third
Is
richest
that
county in
somewhere
the United States.
in here?
Oh, we're getting Michigan map up. It's over here. It's over here. Yeah, it's good. I'm glad we had to bust out the map. Yeah, but yeah. So you have to be a go getter. So When can you do it? When you supplement your income. When you're making more than you would at your normal job on a consistent basis of 6 months, I would say, then you can make that transition over and quit your job. But one thing you have responsibilities. If you have kids, you have child support payments, or you have your loved one to take care of, you have your wife to take care of, all these things. You have to take care of those things. You can't just go on a limb, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going out on a limb, I think you forget about a lot of things. I just talked about how to make $100,000 in the business, but it's not $100,000. Take 31% of that right off the top for taxes, and there you go. Now you're back to about 75,000, and then you take off what you paid your employees and equipment and your gas and everything else. Yeah, there's write-offs in there, but I'm telling you, there's nowhere close. So now you're at $100,000. You make 44,000, 45,000 in that. So you have to place yourself in the right area that's not going to compensate you in the long run. Because let's say if that person just quit right before all this craziness happened, they would be screwed right now, 100%, right?
Yep. And I
So,
know some that have, and I know that some people have actually. I have one good friend that actually I don't think I haven't seen him on here tonight. That actually he got laid off from his job, and he had just taken my training class, and I mean he's been making good money doing pressure washing right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, he's made over $4,000 within within 2 weeks. And that's great. You know, but you got to be able to do marketing. You got to get your systems in place. You just can't assume that this work is just going to keep coming in if you don't do nothing. So,
if you
what is one thing that has really grown your business the most, Eric?
advertising. But before I get into that, you were talking about you can't keep doing the same thing. Those people that keep doing the same thing, you got to read the book Who Moved My Cheese. I know it sounds like a cheesy book, right? But Who Moved My Cheese? It talks about these mice that keep going back to the same place to get this cheese over and over and over again. They get consistency. That's what happened with this coronavirus. And we were all just keep going back to the same places, commercial, residential, all these cool places. Now nothing. Now we have nothing, right? But advertising, to go back to your other question, advertising is the biggest thing you can do. Advertise how often? Early and often. How many months out of the year? So we don't get the privilege. Where are you from, Jay?
We're from
Where you
Cincinnati,
at?
so our weather is not as quite as bad as you, but we work about 8 to 9 months out of the year.
Yeah, but our Florida guys and our down south guys have no idea what it is to be us, right? And we work in negative 12 degrees, negative 7 degrees, right? So we get cold months. We're still in the 40s. We got to the 50s today, but I took the Harley out for a ride today, so it was a nice day. But one of the things that I would say is advertise early and often, and you want to do it all 12 months. All 12 months. Don't just do it while everything's hot. And here's the biggest mistake everybody makes. The biggest mistakes, just like your guy, and I hope he doesn't make this same mistake. He gets out of the get-go making $4,000. While he's making that $4,000, he's no longer doing the advertising as hard and as fast as he could before. And then now he's like, well, that was a good run. Right. No, you can't have that. You got to keep going on it.
And when you're busy, that's the time you got to keep marketing, keep spending money. When you're 3 weeks out and you're like, man, I'm so busy, I'm going to cut back on marketing. That is the worst thing you can do, because guess what's going to come up around June, July, and guess what happens in those months?
Boom. Yeah, it goes like this and it goes down like this. But if you're able to, and you have to, like I said, here's another problem I think with people that look at, I would say YouTubers, or look at the industry guys that are doing this and say, I want to do what he's doing. Okay, well, I don't think you do, because I don't think you want to wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. I don't think you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock when I do every night. You know what I mean? And you don't want to do these things, because I tell you right now, a lot of people are blue-collared workers. Do you follow what I'm saying? When I say blue-collared workers, they're not white-collared workers. What's the difference between white-collared worker and blue-collar worker? You and I, we can work 80 hours a week. Anybody watching this program can do 80 hours a week. That's not a problem. But what you can't do is what the blue-collar workers are doing that went to school for advertising, marketing, all the stuff in the back office that a lot of these guys have, hold on one second, Mr. Customer. You said what? And you're writing on a napkin or a back of a card, and you're writing down an address. Yeah, I'll get right back to you. You throw the card over here and never get back to them. Right?
Right.
So you have to have that balance, which I completely sucked at, by the way. Okay. I'm ADD. I was that guy writing napkins down. But once I got a system, systems are everything. You get a system down, you get that system, and you use it. And it doesn't matter what's going on. For me, if somebody's talking to me, so 1 second, give me just a minute. I'll write it down. I'll type it in my planner, if you will, online, and then it just goes right to my iPhone, my computers, everything. So,
And I think this is something that a lot of people that are starting out think that, I got to answer the phone. I got to do, if you are on the truck, and hire that out, or because this is honestly the most important thing is answering the phone and making sure you're not taking any more of that customer's time than you absolutely have to. We want to make it easy for that customer. The easier for that customer is, the more likely they're going to buy from us. If we're making it hard and hold on, I got to shut all this down and give me 5 minutes, you don't sound professional, first off. And if you don't sound professional, then you want professional prices, you're probably not going to get it, because that's just part of this, So, and I understand it is hard to answer that phone and to be able to do 3 things at once and make sure that quote is getting out and all that kind of stuff. And, find those systems, figure out those systems, and there's systems out there that we can go bam, 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 and then it just sits there and pushes it out by itself. And now we are doing it. I'm a big fan
Jason,
of responsibility.
But Jason, it's too much. It's too much money for these guys, right? That's what they think. But here's the thing: you lose 15 jobs a month. Now, which one's costing more money?
Right. Because I don't want to pay that $170 for responsive bid, or I don't want to pay that $200 for Jill's office or bid slot to answer the phone, or $15 an hour for somebody to do it. But in the end, you're going to lose way more than that. And, I preach responsibility because that's how one thing in 2015.
Jay, you keep talking for a second. I'm just going to yell down at the missus real quick.
And so,
hey, honey.
And so 15,000 is one of those things that, this is something that we can't do, So Responsive Bid is going to sit there and send those emails, and Responsive Bid is going to sit there and make everything happen and make it where it will work and keep it and go everything. So, Jill's office is good, or bid slot, they'll answer the phone. They can do everything you need to and all that kind of thing. So, this is some things that we really want to be able to make it happen, so that way it makes it easy for the customer. At the end of the day, that is what we're wanting to do. We want to make it feel like that customer is just one thing right after another. And if we make it easy for the customer, then they're going to buy from us. And so that is what is going to happen is, if we don't make it easy and we make it tough and we make them have to do 10 things to jump through hoops, they're probably not going to buy from us at the end of the day. So we want to make sure that we're keeping it easy. We want to make sure that we are, doing everything it is to make that customer be at ease and feel easy, and it's just like natural.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm fine now. Yeah, I was talking to the missus. I've been getting over, I think I had gotten this coronavirus is what I really think. We went to Florida, hung out at Universal Studios and right before March, and I came home sicker than a dog, man. And I've been down for months. I've been on 2 different inhalers now. So if you see me go over here and take a puff, don't worry, I'm okay. I'm just getting over all this stuff. But you're right. Advertising is by far huge. So Jason, so here's what you got to do. You got to do 2 things. Either you got to come up with the money to pay for it, or become a specialist in that area.
Right.
So when you're an owner, you're wearing all these different hats. What does that mean? You're wearing the tax hat one day, the next day you're wearing the working hat, and then the next day you're working on the back office stuff, like all the paperwork and invoicing and all this stuff. I had to become great at advertising. If I wasn't as good as I am in advertising in my area with organic growth, there's no way I'd be where I am today. But that's also like 30 or 40 40 hours of YouTube videos of hours and hours and hours of stuff that I'm learning. So now it becomes easy to me advertising. I can make a quick little video within 10 minutes. I can put it out and people call me on it all the time. So that's so professional. It's so great. If they knew it took me 10 minutes, they'd laugh, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
it took hours of doing it. So if you don't spend the money initially, you'll end up spending the money somewhere,
And that's,
whether
and
good or
that's
bad.
one of the biggest things I always tell people is, it's good to invest in your business. Don't get me wrong. I want you to invest in your business, but I also want you to invest in yourself. That is probably the thing that will help you grow and be the most successful, is investing in yourself. If you don't know how to do sales, go take sales classes. Don't go to a pressure washing conference if you don't know how to do
No.
sales, and you know how to do pressure washing. Don't go to that conference. I'd rather you go to a sales conference, because then if you go to a sales conference, then you're going to learn sales or marketing. There's tons of that's. I go to all the marketing stuff. Am I good at
Yep.
marketing? Yeah. Do I want to get better at marketing? Hell yeah,
Yeah.
because that is where
Yeah,
I make
absolutely.
money. I can teach
Yeah.
anybody to pressure wash. I can teach anybody to window clean. But to teach people to get jobs, that's a lot tougher and it's a lot
Yeah.
harder too. So investing yourself is one of the best things you can ever do.
If you have a $50,000 rig sitting in your driveway, but no advertising, you got nothing. I always talk to people. Have you ever heard of Feng Shui You drink? No, you haven't. Have you heard of Coca-Cola? Why? Because of advertising. They advertise the heck out of things. I advertise funny things. I advertise, whatever's going on. Every holiday you can think of, we're advertising for. Do I hate the holidays? Every single one of them. But do I know that they come up for people? Yeah. What does Valentine's have to do with anything with window cleaning? What does Mother's Day have to do with anything with window cleaning? Mother's Day? What does that have to do with window cleaning? I don't know. 30 customers, 35 customers a year that come back every single year just to give their mom a gift card from us.
Right.
That's what that means to me. Right. So advertisement is huge. If you don't have advertisement, it's a sickening thing. You'll never go anywhere.
And another thing I want to hit on too, because this is kind of something that is what are we selling? Are we really selling pressure washing? Are we really selling
No,
window cleaning?
no, no,
Is Chick-fil-A really selling chicken?
no.
They selling customer service.
Customer service. If they're not selling service to somebody, if you're not selling service, if I'm not selling service, then I would be out of business a long time ago. Number two, that tags along with that piggybacks that, is believing in what you're selling and believing in what you're doing. I sell the crap out of dryer vent cleaning. I am so passionate about that. House burning down. I did a video. Does your house really need, to be dry? Did your house get dryer vent cleaning in 2019? And does it really ever have to be done? I had a video of me just pulling a bunch of junk out of it. You know how many calls I got from that one video? Because they were like, oh, I believed in it. I believe in what I'm talking about. I believe in that opportunity that, that house could burn down with your 3 family members. Is $125 worth your family members?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a catch-22 there, but yeah, absolutely. So I think it's important. Any other questions popping up, Jay?
Yeah, but some of them is just not really on topic. So
Okay. Well, I will say I'm not the most liked person in the window cleaning and the most liked person in the window cleaning world. Now, I will tell you this: 2 things. Um, Somebody always asked me. They said there's an old saying out there, and I love this saying because not a lot of people know me. They kind of look at me and they say, I'm going to prejudge that guy. I really don't know his heart. I don't know, what he's all about. I just see his videos. So somebody will say, hey, I really love that guy. I think he's a great guy. The next person will say, he's the biggest asshole I know. And I say, believe them both, because I treat everybody accordingly. Right.
Right.
So, yeah. So if there's junk coming in, you might get through it. Hey, that's okay. I can take it. I'm a big boy. I'm okay with that.
You know what I
Keyboard
always say?
warriors
Because I got
are one
haters
thing.
too, and I love haters because they'll watch my stuff and hate on me, and I love haters, and so
Yeah.
and I understand that. Some people like to listen to me because it's me.
Yeah.
Some people don't
Jay,
like to listen to me because it is me, and I understand that,
yeah.
and
So,
so that is why I do what I do. Is it
yeah.
doesn't bother me if you don't like me. Fine, give me some
Yeah.
watch time. I appreciate your watch time and move on.
I always say this. I said, yeah, and absolutely, definitely move on. Keyboard warriors are one thing. I always say, listen, you don't like what I'm doing? That's fantastic. You want to show me how better I can do it on your style? Fantastic. But let's do a favor. Let's go ahead. Let me pull my Chase account up. Let me go ahead and pull my Fifth Third Bank account up, and let's compare the bank accounts for a minute, and then we'll share after that.
And
Okay?
I don't even go down that route. I don't even care about that because you know what? At the end of the day, I don't care. I don't
Right.
care.
As long as you're happy and your family's set and you're okay, that's the most important thing. My father always told me, he goes, you know what you're going to do? You're going to work, you get $100, you spend 50 of it. That's all you get. You put the other in the savings. If you didn't do that, boy, a lot of people are in trouble right now because
Right.
they spend. I got to have the best surface cleaner. I'm like, that's cool. Not my subcontractors. They don't have to have the best one. No
Right.
way. They still get the job done, right? Still looks professional. They're calling me back. And let me put it this way too. Not only advertising, but when you get a job, it's disgusting to me to think, and you're a firefighter, so you're probably going crazy on those sirens right now that
Well,
you
I'm
hear,
making
right?
sure they're not coming to my house. I actually have a small fire outside that I didn't put all the way out, and that's why I was making
Oh, did
sure. So,
you? Making sure it was you. But it's so disgusting to me that when somebody gets a job, they hurry up and get the job complete, and they say, "Okay, thank you for the check. Bye bye now." Why are we not saying, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Jones, I have October open for gutter cleaning. I'll take a look at the gutters. Also, we'll talk about that back deck too that you were wanting to done power washing that you didn't have the money for right now. Why don't we do this? I'll book you for the 11th on that Tuesday at 9:30 in the morning. Why aren't we doing that?
right.
Why aren't we putting that into practice? Here's why we're not doing it. We're scared of rejection, right? I am so obliterated. Like when people say negative things, it doesn't even matter. So I'll look at a customer and she'll say, "No, I can't get that done right now." And I say, and she just sits there and looks at me, and she's dead shocked about this, dead silent. I'm like, "You're not gonna get it done?" And she's like, "No, I can't get it done this year. I think we're just gonna hold off." I said, you're not gonna protect your investment, and you have to ask these questions. Don't be too hard on them, right? I mean, it is just $1,000 or whatever, but you have to really talk to them. And to be a salesperson, you have to do more listening
Right.
than you do talking. So,
What? Let's see. It's was Da Rap. Um, he asked a question which was up here a little ways, I think, or maybe not. Yeah, there it is. I just seen it. Well, one question is what part of Michigan are you from?
Southeast Detroit. So we're about 45 minutes from Detroit. The missus is a nurse, trauma nurse down in Detroit. So we're about 45 minutes from Detroit.
Are you north or south of it?
We are going to be west of it.
Okay.
Or we're on the water. So we're right on the water. We're by, if anybody knows where Selfridge Air Force Base in Michigan is, that's right about, we're about 15 minutes away from that. We're
And then
right
the
on the
next
water.
question is, Eric, are you selling well with the COVID on the loose?
We're not. We're not selling well at all, actually. But here's the thing. Because we're not selling well doesn't mean that we're not advertising well, right? So people are still calling. They're still making appointments. I tell you what's gone right now is the commercial work that we had because there's nobody going into these places, right? And so everybody's like, oh, it's going to be back to normal next week, next month. I think we better wake up and think the owners are going to come and say, well, they haven't been done in 6 weeks, so we'll get them done every once a month, So we got to become trickier at that. What's not selling well? I'll tell you what's not selling well for us here in Michigan. For me, then I'll tell you what I am selling well. I'm not selling well indoor window cleaning anymore in a house. Nobody wants nothing done in the house. They're okay with you touching on the outside of the building. That's cool. If you want to touch on the outside of the building, that's cool. But we're doing soft washing, roof washing, gutter cleaning, power washing of surface cleaning of like the driveways and stuff like that. We're still locking these down, but we're pushing the dates out. I would rather have a full calendar and keep pushing these customers out than have a wide open calendar like I did this last month. And when you're losing, I mean, thousands, you guys, not just thousands. When you're losing between 40 and 45,000 in a month, that's a hard pill to swallow, right?
Right.
So This is like I call this Christmas time till November, right? Now until November is like Christmas. It's like literally, I can think of times, and this goes inspiration for you guys who are just starting out, and when the economy gets better and where you guys could be, you'll forget you have money sitting around. You forget you have $2,000 that you didn't even cash. One lady's like, "Hey, Mr. Bland," I was like, "Hey." She's like, "You did my house 3 weeks ago?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You gonna cash that check?" I'm like, "Yeah, I thought we did." "No, it's $3,500. It's still sitting here." I said, "Oh, I better go cash it." So, you'll get to that point. But that's what's selling well for us. But you have to talk to management places that have to keep their buildings up, right? A lot of management places, that's a real home run for us. That's like a secret little tidbit I give you guys there is management places. If you're not talking to management services, you're getting out of the loop. What other questions you guys have?
This is Jacob Myers. I know he listens to you
He-
also. He
yeah,
asked,
I coach him.
gotcha. He asked, oh, so you're the one I've been having to deal with.
Probably. Yeah.
What would you do to promote your business in the middle of a COVID crisis?
Advertisement. You have to be known for something. So if you've got to be, like I said, going back, if you have to become great at something, be great at advertisement right now. If you can learn advertisement, you can learn all this, but be great at it. You can learn power washing, soft washing, window cleaning. You can actually be the worst window cleaner. And I don't want to bash another company, but we have a large franchise company out there that does half crap work
They're
where
not
you
a
get a
fish,
lot of
are
business.
they?
Yeah, they might be a fish. They might be a fish. So but you want to know why they are so great though? Let me tell you, Jacob, and you guys watching, why fish is so great. They sell contracts, they sell customer service, and they can hire the guy at whatever price that barely knows what they're doing. You can train them for a week on a video and send them out there. Why? Because you can't fire them. They're on a contract. So that's why. But advertisement is the only thing you want to do. What does that mean? Free advertisement. You know what? People say, "Oh, I don't know I don't know where to go." Well, do you all have a phone? Because I don't know. I got about 1,500 contacts in here. I could call 'em. I don't have any family members alive other than my brother. But if I called my aunt and say, "Hey, aunt, do you need your windows cleaned?" Sometimes you got to do the stuff you don't want to do. Sometimes, I mean, for window cleaning wise, there is so much glass out there. Now, saying that, this is a power washing channel, window cleaning, it goes like this: dryer vent cleaning, gutter cleaning, window cleaning, power washing, right? That is the difference. You can make $4,000 or $5,000 in one day power washing, or you can make $1,000 and think you're big time in it at window cleaning.
Right.
So now we use those services, our add-ons, right?
They're good down sales
Another
too.
say that again.
It's a good downsell if you try to downsell. If you get slow, you can sell it in
Oh,
the middle of
yeah,
a couple months
absolutely.
later.
And
Whatnot.
you could teeter it too. I call them teetering sales. What you could do is you could say, "Ma'am, let me ask you a question. Could I sweeten the pot for you? Why don't I go ahead and clean the windows after we're done power washing?"
Yep.
Is that fair? Is that fair, Mr. Customer? Do you think that's a fair deal? I'm going to give you a $260 deal, right? Well, I'm using equipment that hardly is going to touch their windows. I come by with the soft wash machine and I'm done anyways. So you know what I mean? It takes 40 minutes to do the whole place. Not a big deal. But any
Um,
other questions on
this
there?
is a good question because this one here is probably, if you're not good at sales, this question here is probably one of the hardest things you will have to deal with. And this is something you got to learn with. And I know Eric is probably going to blow this one because if he's good at sales, he don't worry about this one. But if you're not good at sales, this is probably one of the hardest thing is not gonna lie, MTM power washing, not gonna lie, scared of being told no.
You know what? I love getting told no. Do you understand why? If I'm not getting told no, then I'm doing something wrong. Okay. Let me unpack that for a minute. If I tell them a price and they say yes, I just screwed myself. Does that make sense? If they're not balking at your pricing, if they're not saying, "No, I don't want that," then you know what? when they tell me no, I put that in the back of my mind. And I said, all right, so you don't want let me get this straight, Mr. Customer. You don't want the back patio done, but you want the front entranceway done. Is that correct? So now I'm going to use that because I'm in sales, right? I'm going to use that against her in just a second. Here's how I'm going to use it against her. So, okay, your friends and family are going to drive up on the weekend, right? They're going to pull up and they're going to see this beautiful landscape that you have, beautiful driveway, beautiful walkway up to your house. Where do you normally party? In the front yard or the backyard? Oh, in the backyard. Well, that's where your patio is that you don't want to get done. Doesn't it make sense, Mr. Customer, to get that patio done? And go like this, Jay. This is how I do. Doesn't that make sense to get that patio done? And just keep shaking my head and not saying anything other than and you're doing what I'm doing. You're mocking me right now by just shaking your head and you're like, okay, and they bring out the money. So I don't get scared. If you tell me no, it's just like the guy that one I can remember when I very first started window cleaning. The lady told me no, they got a window cleaner. I said, I'm thinking in my head, I got to eat tonight. I start washing the main window. No, 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 no. I don't need it. I go to the next window. I'm getting paid, baby. It don't matter. I'm taking that money. So yeah, I like no's because it tells me that now I'm on my toes and now it's fun for me. I love sales. So I make it a game. I'm like, okay, if they told me one no, I'm going to see if I can get three more out of them because I'm going to overcome those no's. And then I'm going to turn those no's into yeses. And I'm going to match how many yeses to no's that they had. And I just make a big game out of it. Not a lot of people can do that. So what can you do? Listen to motivational speakers, not like, oh, you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. No, 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 no. You can be an overnight success in about 5 years, okay, of 6 days a week working for 5 years straight, and you'd be an overnight success. But here's what I say: listen to people, sales and marketing. I think it was Warren Buffett. What did Warren Buffett say? He says, if you could do one thing, go into sales marketing. If you could do one thing in the beginning, you don't want to go to college, you don't want to go to sales marketing, because that's what would make you be the difference between the next guy right down the road from you.
Yep.
Is learning how to.
Do you do email marketing when you are trying to get customers, or do you just mainly try to do face to face, Facebook?
Nope. We don't do it. I think say that question just how it reads real quick.
Does Eric
Read
do
it just.
Does Eric do email marketing?
Oh, that's what it says. Okay. So I don't do it when we're trying to get business. We do it all the time. Right. So here's one of the biggest mistakes, and learn from me, please, please, please. If you could learn from me on this one, and I'm horrible at it because my mind was bigger than this small issue that I thought I had. Actually, it was the other way around. My problem was this big and my mind was this big. Is Google ratings. If you're not driving them back to your Google ratings, this year is one of the things we're going to focus on is getting that Google listing and give them a 5-star review. If you're not doing that, that hurts you in the long run. I thought the very opposite because we deal with so many commercial buildings. Nobody cares. They have 18 different Tim Hortons that I do every single week. They don't care. They just need you there. Tim Hortons or TJ Maxx's, Best Buys, Home Depots, Lowe's. They don't care. Right? They want you there. They're not going to give you a 5-star review, but you could have one of their employees that you are friends with, that you see the janitor. Hey, can you give me a 5-star review? Just tell me how great I did. Thanks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, that's a huge thing that I missed out on, guys. You do not want to miss that bus. That's for sure. I missed that, and that was horrible. But yes, you want to collect emails. And again, if we're not upselling for the next season or that later season, which would be if you're in their summer, you would hit fall. And if you're in their fall, you'd hit summer. So it's a constant ping pong. If you're not answering those, if you're not offering your services that way, then what are we doing? We want one wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and then we're out of there? Because I don't want to be that business, right? I don't want to just have that person as a one-time guest. I want to have them continually talking about me and I'm being in their ear. But marketing, you have to be very careful with email marketing too. You can't oversaturate it, because when you really have good deals come out, they're going to skip over you and you say, oh, I see this guy and stuff like that.
This is a good question about packaging. When you package window cleaning and a house wash, roof wash together, do you typically do water fed pole, traditional, or just hit it with the pressure washer and brush the windows down with a pole?
Okay, it's a very good question. So we're talking package deal here. We're not just talking about the premium window cleaning when we get there, okay? Because there's two different packages for that. You have your regular window cleaning inside and outside. If you guys are interested in my pricing and what I charge, just go to my Facebook. Go to my Facebook page on my Facebook, and I have all my prices laid out right there. For a one-story gutter cleaning, it'll tell you how long it's going to take me to do it and what the pricing is. So what do I do? Well, a couple things. I don't want to mislead you. If you don't have a water-fed pull system, that water-fed pull is easy. There's a technique that needs to be learned there. So if you're just starting out, go and traditional window clean. Because if they want you to do the inside, which I hate doing inside window cleaning at homes especially, but because they follow you. They're like, hey, and I'm like, ma'am, I know you want to follow me into your bedroom and the office, but if you follow me into the bathroom, we have Saturday classes. I can set you up and you can learn how to do what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So, but I say that to say, you want that whole spectrum. So you can't water fed pull inside somebody's house. So learn traditional first, then move over if you have the money. But I'm going to tell you, water fed pull isn't scrub it on the glass, rinse it off, walk away. There's technique that needs to be learned. If you hit that sill and that sill is rubber, big old rubber gasket sill on the top, it's going to leak every time. You're going to have run marks. And you just did the whole house for $3,000 and you nailed it out of the park. But you know what? They're only one thing they're looking at is that one little drip that you missed. So you finish the home. We call them home runs. And when you do it, we get everything: dryer vent cleaning, window cleaning, power. That one little drip. That's all they care about. Right. And so, yeah, we don't. And here's another thing. And I'm so sick of people doing this. If if there's something that gets on my nerves more than anything, it's this. Oh, it's a hard time right now. We're going to discount prices. Oh, I'm going to discount price. I'm going to discount price. I'm going to discount price. If, like I told you earlier, if this person is not going to budge, and I'm going to say, I'll sweeten the pot by doing the window cleaning, I'll just jack their price up in the beginning to be able to bring it down. Right. So, well, Eric, you just told me all your prices are online. Yeah. Well, they give and take too. Well, that house is a little bigger than 3,500 square foot. So we're going to add for that to be able to bring it down back to where it originally was. But I sweeten the pot with the gutter cleaning.
Right.
So.
Right. All right. So we've been on about 52 minutes. Let me see if we got any other questions here.
It's been a pleasure being on here, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on.
And like I said before, if you all want to come on, anybody else, let me know. I may reach out to some people, I may not. But I got a couple people down the pipeline that's going to be pretty interesting to come on. So again, I'm on here every Sunday night, and I do come in on Wednesday or Tuesday, depending on what day of the week it is. Eric, what does your insurance say about dryer vent cleaning? My company said no.
So it's a very specific, and you got to be careful on how you do it. So our company says yes. Our company says go on ahead. Now they make you pay for it, okay, depending on where you're at. So don't take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because what's good in Michigan in my specific Macomb or Oakland County is going to be your different area. So I can't talk to you on that specific thing. But yeah, dryer vent cleaning is a must. Matter of fact, if you get it a hold, and this is what people pay for, this information I'm going to give you. When you're going somewhere, let's say service managers. So if they own a hotel or they own a duplex, they have to have their dryer vents cleaned every single, whether it's quarterly or once a year at least. So they have to. So complexes will call me constantly having them done. So they have to have them done from the state, at least in Michigan.
That is true. That is true. But let's see. We got a lot of people on here tonight. There's been about 80 some people. There's only 78 right now. So
that's good stuff, man. I want to see everybody. I want to see some success out of people, and that's what you do this for. That's what I do this for. You got better things to do with your life than us both sit on here. But we're trying to get the I'm not speaking to the person that has a $60,000 rig. Maybe I'm talking to the guy that was down and out, just like myself a few years ago. The guy that says, I'm a nobody. I was ready to end my life. My family was not there for me. My friends and weren't there for me. It was a pipe dream. All these things, right? It was a big pipe dream for me. That's who I'm talking to, because at the end of the day, people can say, "Well, you're not doing that right." Fantastic, dude. I'm still making money, bro. Right? That's fantastic. I'm gonna learn a new way. I'll tell you this, Jay. In the beginning, I had a window cleaning business. Then I transferred window cleaning to gutter cleaning. I couldn't afford a power washer, so what did I do? I found the next best thing, somebody who had a power washer, and I hired them. And I thought, wow, that's subcontracting. That worked really well. I just made $600 and they made $400 and they were happy as can be. And I made $600 on the deal. So guess how many subcontractors I work with now? 21. Do I have all 21 working at once? No. I go down the list. These 6 work this week. The next week, these 6 want to work. Then right back up to the list, and I keep going back and forth just like this. And now I'm doing some soft washing on my own truck. Why? Is because it's getting so busy now. It's getting crazy as far as last year coming into this year. And before the pandemic hit, of course, things got a little wobbly. But I can guarantee you, when we open back up, it's going to be floodgated for sure.
Um, Eric, our Wet Windows guy said Eric is the man. Tell him Wet Windows guy said hi.
Good to
Um,
see you.
somebody's asking about a pressure washing class. I might have said
Hey,
mine was better.
I did some shirts for Wet Windows.
Did
I
you?
think I made some shirts when I was making them back in the day. So
Ryan O'Neill put Eric has some good energy. This was a good one. Um,
thank you for that. I appreciate that. That means
importance
a lot.
importance of allowing credit card payment. This is a no brainer right here.
What does this say?
Importance of allowing credit card payment.
Oh yeah. Uh, I'm going to tell you this. You have to. I always charge the customer the percentage. Okay, remember, make it sound like they're getting a good deal. So mark it up in the beginning. So ask them, hey, Mr. Customer, were you planning on paying Visa card, MasterCard, or American Express? Don't forget, if you use your American Express card, you can use your points, right, Mr. Customer? So I push it on them that they can use their point card, right? Because then they're like, oh, before all this stuff happened, they're like, I can use my miles. I'm getting all excited. So now I'm like, okay, they're going to use their credit card. I'm going to jack that back end up. So then that way it levels out the front end. So I'm not losing that 3.5% when I get hit with a credit card fee. So yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see this world take a huge turn, I think. And I'm no mind reader or I'm no fortune teller, but it sounds like the signs are going to dollarless and coinless, and it's going to be like China, where they're all just currency is going to be right over a credit card. So yeah, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, because I've
And
seen
don't
even some restaurants around here are not taking cash right now because it's
yeah,
dirt.
dirty,
It's
dirt.
dirty. I
Yep,
mean, if you want to give
yep.
me your dirty cash, I'm more than willing to take it. So
I take your dirty cash all day long. I love dirty cash.
I don't care if you got COVID
I
on.
like
You can
that
throw the
cash.
COVID on
Yeah,
it. I'll still take
you
it.
got COVID. I got Lysol. I'll spray the stuff off. No problem. Give me your cash. I like some cash. That's cool
Yeah,
with me.
if
But yeah,
if you have a
that's the
problem with your dirty cash, just bring it my way, and I will take
yeah.
care of it for you.
Yeah, or you know what? If you got dirty cash, you don't want it no longer. Yeah, just go ahead and PO Box 221 and just send it on over. But yeah, I think that's good. And and I'll say this real quick. I don't know if there's any more questions coming in. I want you guys to think about if you had $200, what would you spend it on? I don't want you to spend on upgraded equipment. I want you to spend it on advertising. Whether that for me, Eric, what would you do with $200? This is what I would do with $200. I'd buy yard signs. I
I was just gonna. There was actually a guy that said he's just trying to get marketing. It was like $300 or something. I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the most important thing. Here's the thing. Are you going to have people call you? You can't put them in the road. Can you come pick them up? Don't go pick them up because they're going to fine you. I always say they can't fine FIN you if they can't find you. So they can't find you if they can't find you. So don't go pick the signs up. They're going to give you a big fat ticket. I learned my lesson on that one. So yeah, just get the signs, put them out, where their people are going to be at, and do that way. Signs, signs, signs. Now, what do I put on a sign? Put what you do and the number. No one gives a crap about what your logo looks like. I have this one with this big logo on it and what we do. Horrible. Did horrible. Put everything you go. Who cares? High school sweetheart that you broke up with can't see.
Big service, big
Yeah,
phone number.
big. That's it. So who are you going to call now? That sign or bland services? What is bland service? That sounds like a dumb name.
What's he
Oh,
do?
you put gutter cleaning. Oh, that's funny, Mr. Customer. You call me about gutter cleaning, right? Yep. Okay, yeah, we charge $300. Thank you. Goodbye. No, Mr. Customer. Is this your only house that you have? Yes. Well, we have a vacation house that's not too far away. I could probably set that one up too. We also do power washing. Obviously we do gutter cleaning, and you just add the services on. So yeah, good for you. That's a great sign, great advertisement. You got to keep signs like that for
All
sure.
right. So this guy here, he emailed me, and I will get back to you tomorrow on my ask questions because I haven't been doing them yet today and tomorrow. The wife is going to help me. But this is a guy that is in Central Illinois, in Peoria, Illinois, and he says, "Thanks for giving me motivation to start my business." He's a Peoria fireman about to get laid off. Baby due in June, and we are going all in business to try to make ends meet. He has like 2 or 3 kids. The next one's on his way. They just announced in Peoria that they are $50,000 short, and he thinks, or 50, not $50,000, $50 million short, and he thinks he's going to get laid off. So I will be responding to you tomorrow also, but just Eric, what I'm trying to think what the word I'm trying motivation or
Yeah,
positive
I'll get
thing
it.
would you give to him?
Absolutely. So number one, I'm so sorry that you're going through this situation. I went through my own situation. I couldn't imagine your own situation, so I apologize. That you guys are going through that. This is something that was never seen that would ever happen to both of you guys. But here's the thing: be proactive about it. Sounds like you are. You're asking questions. You're wanting to know. Do you have a nest egg? What is all into you? Because all into me and all into you are completely different. I can guarantee you that. All in for me is you're going to almost divorce your wife, not really, but you're going to not be home. You won't be home. You're going to see your kids less in the beginning. I don't want to give a false presentation of, hey, you're going to go golfing on Saturday and you're going to golf tea time on Tuesday. No, you're not going to be there. If you really want this, if you're talking about the all in that I went all in, to get what I have now, then you're going to really have to put all in. I'm talking, you're going to come home crying at night. You will. You're a grown man, grown woman. You're going to cry. I bawled my eyes out some nights. I was like, I think I got to go to the hospital. I think I'm dehydrated. I think I'm dying. But no, I got to get back up in the next morning and do it. So what is all in? So a lot of people use that word very scary for me because all in to one person and all in to me, I'm thinking, wow, you're all in. And I'm like, how many cards you passed out? I have 2 in the last 2 weeks. I'm like, that's all in. We got problems. You know what I mean? And so what I would do is I would call them feelers. Get your feelers out. Get all your feelers out. What does that mean? Make contacts with your friends and family. Hey, I'm thinking about starting a window cleaning business, power washing business. Is there any equipment that you might have laying around your house that I could use or borrow or have? Is that something that I could do? Right. So you're asking those hard questions, right? Maybe you don't, maybe you have a power wash. I don't know. I'm just assuming that you didn't, but ask those questions, ask for stuff. People that have stuff didn't get it just because they wouldn't work for it. They asked for a lot of it too. A lot of these big companies that I have, I didn't just say, I want to work hard for you. I said, hey, what other companies do you own that I can take care of you for? I asked for it. So you got to ask. So also on that is you got babies to worry about. And that is very precious. And that's the most important thing. So and along with your wife, but you have to be there for them and you have to take care of them. So you're going to sacrifice a lot of time that you're not ever going to get back with those babies. So your wife, if she says, yeah, we're all in, your wife has to be on that same playing ground as you're coming home. You're leaving at 6 in the morning and you're coming home at 9 at night. You know what I mean? And that's for me all in, Jay. I don't know about you, but when you quit and did your thing all by yourself, I mean,
You put your feet to
you
your it puts the fire to your feet, and you get to
yeah
have to do, you either eat or not, basically.
yeah
You either gonna hit it hard, and you're gonna go out there and knock on doors. You're gonna go out there and get boots on the ground, as Josh Latimer says.
mhm,
Boots on the
yep
ground. Or if you don't have a lot of money, you're putting out signs. You're doing whatever you can. You're going Facebook Live every day. But Jason, I don't like going Facebook Live. That's
yeah
weird. Do you want to
yep
eat or do
yeah.
you not want to eat? That's your question.
I would rather look weird for about 45 minutes a day than be hungry at the end of the night. I'll do
Absolutely.
anything. I think I did a video long ago. Don't and if you find it, don't make too much fun of it. But I put a cone on my head, and I was just sitting here talking with a cone on my head on one of my YouTube videos. I said, "You think this is dumb?" I said, "The thing that's dumb is the people that are sitting around not doing anything
Right.
and talking garbage and saying, oh, I would do it this way, but you're not doing it. You're more worried about this cone on my head than really getting out there and working. So you got to be very careful, and you got to be careful with your money. I would say if somebody, I was looking through the comments, somebody says, I got $2,000 in the bank. No, you don't. You got $1,000 in the bank. So use that $1,000 well, and then have that $1,000 in the bank for reserve.
Right.
Now, if you have $2,000 and you got 4,000 on, in the bank, great. Now, okay, now we're talking. Now you do have $2,000. I think a lot of people put all their money in one basket, and you can't do that. I got money in, now it's easier for me, so I don't want to
Right.
put it. I got money in stocks. I got money in all kinds of stuff. So it's crazy. But when you very first start out, you got to be so careful with your money, and you don't have to buy the nicest stuff right away. Don't buy the nicest stuff. You buy something. You go to if you and I'll say
Rent
this
it. You can rent
and
it.
yeah, you can rent it. Yeah, or you can be. Listen, don't be like me. Okay, when I first started, my guy that still works for me, Bell. He was we would go. I would do a job. It was my first guy I ever hired. I hired him. We would go to Home Depot. Now, don't do. I'm telling you not to do this. So do what I'm saying, okay? I go to Home Depot. I would buy a 24-foot ladder, use it on the job, bring that same ladder back, get the money for it, and then pay my guy with that money. Okay, that's how bad it was. But I'm saying you could go, and now Jason, don't have a stroke when I say this. Okay, I get it. I'm just telling the newbie guy this. Okay, go to Harbor Freight and get a little something. Start out with what you got.
Right.
Start out with what you can get. If you can't get the nicest stuff, dude, you got to start somewhere. I remember when I had a power washing business without a power washer. Start doing things out of that box. How did I do that? I went on back then it was Craigslist, but I went on Craigslist, found the coolest page I could find with the power wash. And I said, dude, I want you as a subcontractor for my company. Would you do it?
Right.
Yeah, I can do it. I'm dead right now. I thought he was busy. So now he still works for me to this day. Still works for me. So he's got all the rig, got all the problems with all the power washer. He's got all the gas expense, all the stuff he's got to put it in storage for the winter. Guess how much problem I got? Zero, none. So use that. You don't always have to own it. You know what I mean? You can always subcontract it out too. Anything else while we're sitting here?
There's a couple, but I think we're going to jump off here. I told
That
Eric
sounds good.
just to watch his time, just an
Yeah,
hour.
because the
Um,
missus got home and she's downstairs like chilling out from the hospital. So hey,
just
real quick
just
before we get off,
go ahead.
I want to I want to thank all the men and women out there that are giving their time to this COVID, man, and people that you come from, especially with the firefighters, police officers, the people that are bagging groceries. My wife, that's a nurse, trauma nurse. So these people are the frontliners, and any bit that we can give back to these guys, please somehow do it. Give them a thanks, give them a smile if you can, something like that. But thank you so much, Jay, for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Maybe we can do this again sometime. But I keep listening to Jason. He's got some master tips, you guys. I'm constantly learning new things. If you think you've learned too much, keep learning, man. Just keep pumping that brain and keep focusing. Motivate yourself. keep inspiring yourself by listening to stuff that's going to put you up, because the only thing that can get to you is your mind. If you got a clean mind, if you got a go-getting mind, nothing can stop you. So that's all I have to say on that.
All right, Eric, hang on here a second. I'm going to end this and then I'll talk to you at the end. But here, if you want to check out more about Eric's channel and that, go down and subscribe to his channel. It's down in the description. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to me, make sure you subscribe to me. Hit the bell notification. I'm on here every Sunday night at 9 o'clock. I also put out videos, 2-3 videos a week, and then I give a lot of value. If you want to learn more about training, you can go to pressurewash.help.com/training, and there I give a lot. I'm getting ready to revamp it, and it's going to be really cool stuff that I'm getting there. I'm putting in check sheets, the whole 9 yards, so when you pull up to the job, you'll have the check sheet, bam, 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 and knock it out. Again, check me out. I'll be on here Wednesday. Thank you all for coming out and having a good week. Go out there and kill it, and have a great week.